Hello everybody, my name is Fouad Mefli and I am the lead developer for Team Blackheart. I wanted to go ahead and show off some of the new features that we have in our infinite terrain tiler system. So first off, I'm going to just be showcasing really the runtime component this time. So the first thing we're going to do is to show you, I don't think I've ever really shown it too well, the actual terrain tiling part. So now that we have kind of a flying guy, we can do that. I actually want to tone this down a bit. We'll do this real quick. So if you were making just a regular game where your player is kind of expected to be walking around, a spread of 1 is pretty decent. So you can see here as we fly around and move, the terrains tile themselves to fill in the spaces. The parts that have like the weird little funnel cake coloring thing, I don't know. Those are the filler terrains, I guess, in this case. I only specified 1, so we're going to keep getting the same one, obviously. So what I'll do is go ahead and stop this real quick. And now I want to show you the new stuff. The new stuff is the loading from a URL. So in this case, I've actually specified here a URL to load from. And if I were to look at that URL just from a web browser, I would see that you have here, some actual terrain directories. So we have, in this case, center. We also have some stuff that's actually extra. So I wanted to show you that we actually can ignore, and our system ignores the extra stuff in the folder. So if you did happen to per se have extra things in there, then you would be all right, no problem. So go ahead and minimize that out. So when you're going to use this system for loading from a URL, obviously you would want to check this box right here. And if you wanted to show kind of like a little UI in the corner here that we've just added in as an extra feature to show that what's going on, or what the loading part of the system, you can include that. And also, if you don't want your player to be moving around until the terrain's loaded, you can lock that. So we'll go ahead and do that. Lock the player. So basically what it'll do is it turns the player off. It sets him to false while it's loading. So you see up here in the corner, you have your loading UI, and you have the string that's being updated. So it said it found 15 terrains in that system, or in that folder. So we're just going to wait until it's fully loaded here, and now we start getting more updates. So we got some height maps loaded now, and it's going to continue loading the rest of the height maps for each terrain. So we're just kind of waiting now until everything's loaded. One thing though, what the new system is, we've gotten to compile with the web player and everything, so that's no problem. But I guess there is the one Unity sandbox feature that they have, is that they don't let you load data from something not hosted on the server that the web player is running from. So just make sure that when you do build your program, if it's a web player, make sure that you have your terrain data hosted at the same server that you're actually running the player from. So we've got everything loaded up, and I've kind of left a nice message for our terrain developer, Travis, just to show off that we can load terrains from the web. So we've got, this is a test of the infinite terrain tiler, and maybe got some other fun stuff that I left him, some smiley faces and stuff. So you can get a real quick overview of how awesome this system is, and how that we can now load things from a URL instead of from the hard disk. So you can basically change the terrain at that particular URL. You can ship your client out, change the terrain at that URL, and your players can be constantly getting updated worlds and stuff from you, so that you can and with the game object loading like before, that also works. So as long as you include the prefabs in your client build, you can provide these ever-changing worlds that you can update without ever having to ship anything new to the player. They just kind of load the game up, and the next time they load it, the world's different. So I feel like that kind of gives you a really cool feature set there to work on making different MMOs and stuff like that. and even like infinitely changing worlds. So if you wanted to have your terrains kind of update with the seasons in real life, you could do that. Let's see. So that's it for the web side of showing things, and I wanted to kind of showcase, since we've got a flying character at the moment, I want to showcase the different spread capabilities we have. So what I'm going to do is, you saw it with 1, so I'm going to show you with 3 here, and then I'll actually bump it up. I don't want it to load it from the web, so I'm going to turn those back off, just because I want to speed up things and not have to worry about loading it constantly. So here we go. We have a spread of 3, and I just actually backed up, that's why I despawned this. So this is with the spread of 3, so you have like 7 tiles wide on each side. So you can get a good feel, like for a flying game, this would be perfect. So the next thing I'll show you is we'll turn it up a little bit, and maybe let's be bold and go to 9. I think for a flying game that would be probably ideal. So we start flying up in the air, and we're actually pretty limited now by our clipping distance. So we'll go and turn it up even more than what it is. So that's about 10,000, and we're still being clipped. It's pretty amazing that we have all this stuff loaded in, and it's not even, we're still getting pretty good frame rates even with all that stuff. So I mean, of course you're gonna have probably game objects and stuff like that on these terrains, so if you're making a flying game, that's perfect. If you're making a first person, kind of walking, shooting game, whatever, you probably don't need this much terrain at one time. So you have that option to turn it up and down, whatever you like. So let's see. So all these settings are controlled here from, this is the runtime component, the infinite terrain tiler script. So basically, from there you can control a lot of different things, and we're hoping to add even more features coming here in the coming weeks actually, and to continue supporting this rather powerful and easy to use system. So with that, I wanted to say thank you to everybody that's already tried out the system and given us their feedback, and we hope to hear from you people that are watching and that want to get your hands on the system. We have beta copies still available for everybody, so just shoot us an email or drop us a post on the forum, and we'll be glad to help you out. Alright, thanks.